Hello, everybody. 99 a days. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing fine. Woke up with a pulse. Put my feet on the floor. Some days that's all you get, so we'll go with it, right? Not all bad. Some days that's all you need. Don't want anything else. So anyway, my apologies for video yesterday. Cut out after 3 minutes of sound. So I tried to redo it like 3 different times, and I just kind of felt a little defeated and said, to hell with it, I'll do it in the morning. Not to hell with you. To hell with my effort at the time, because sometimes stroke brain just doesn't keep up with the rest of me. Just saying. So anyway, we're going to talk about lazy politics today, and that's where politicians get there. They bitch and moan about the issues and do sweet frig all about it. And when the solutions come to the floor that most of both sides agree on, the rest of them vote no. How do they explain that back home? But anyway, let's go with liking me, loving me, sharing me. Let's do that, okay? If you're new, subscribe. Share it with your friends, family. Let's get into this. Remember Marianne Williamson? Now, she is a Democrat that likes to run for presidential elections. The only problem is she's about as popular as RFK. She went on X and excremented a post to offer her support of Trump. And she said, continuing to dump on Trump because of the eating issue, or the eating cats issue, will create blowback on November 5th. Haitian voodoo is in fact real, and to dismiss the story out of hand rather than listen to the citizens of Springfield, Ohio, confirms in the minds of many voters the stereotype of Democrats as smug elite jerks who think they're too smart to listen to anyone outside their own silo. Really? So basically, she spelled voodoo wrong. She spelled it V-O-O-D-O-O. That's not how it's spelled. It's spelled V-O-D-O-U. So there's that. But she's also insinuating, in my estimation, that all Haitians practice voodoo and have little dolls. That's as far as I'm going with that. But anyway, Oscar-winning director Peter Ramsey said, Haitian voodoo has nothing to do with eating cats, you ignorant moron. Another lady said, you literally are the worst. This is what your shitty, ignorant rhetoric is doing. Do better. So Shady Pants isn't doing better. He told Dana Bash that if he has to make up stories about this stuff to get the media to start talking about the border, then that's what he says, that's what I'll have to do. I have to listen to my constituents who say, and here it comes, they heard. They were barbecuing cats in the neighbor's yard. They were calling 911 to report it. Or some are saying, that's one of Trump's fears. Well, some people tell me they are seeing it with their own eyes and they are talking about it. Well, the city manager, the police, the mayor have not received one call of animal cruelty, animal abductions, or mass murder of the family pets in the town of Springfield. Maybe, Shady, you should get your ass to your district and talk to these people and find out what the hell is going on. Because I've seen interviews with your constituents. I would go and check that shit out myself. Because you are spreading that shit like horse shit on field crops and stoking fear and hate. That's all you're doing. And every time I see that smug look on your face, it just puts me in mind of the old sleazy used car salesman. You know? He knows these are all lies, and he knows that lies spread faster and further than the truth ever will. And to do this, to keep their base all riled up, and it's working, Trump vomited that bile on the debate stage, and Shady Pants went and added to it in the spin room. How about instead of listening to the infamous they, Shady Pants, You go to Springfield in your district and talk to people. Better yet, why don't you go to the Haitian community in Springfield and Dayton and Cincinnati and Findlay and these other places in Ohio? Why don't you go there and talk to the Haitian community and see what they're feeling? You know, empathy is a word. It is. It's a word. Maybe you should look it up. Go to Dayton, where the lie was debunked about a man eating a cat. Or was it that woman that was so strung out on drugs she abused a cat? Neither one of them were Haitian, by the way. The police and the mayor had to go on TV after you spread that garbage and had to forcefully debunk it. Findlay, Ohio mayor. Here's a good mayor for you. Mayor Christina Marin. She said about 1,000 Haitians moved there, but they had to stay in the hotel because there was no housing for them. I don't expect the numbers to grow. She said there has not been an increase in crime. In fact, there has been a decrease in drug overdoses and other crime, which we regularly saw at the hotel now occupied by our immigrant populations. There has been an increase in traffic violations, however, because they are driving very, very slowly and taking left-hand turns from the right-hand lane. Our law enforcement is now providing traffic education to these people. And the main concern here is the language barrier in the schools, in hospitals, in government offices. ESL teachers have always been around, but now we had to hire more and get some translators at the government offices and whatnot. So they're creating jobs, just saying. Now, Shady Pants is a baby senator with 2 years experience, and not once before that debate has anybody talked about, or him on the Senate floor, brought up anything to do with the influx of Haitians in his state or his district. He has done nothing but fuel the fire and stick to Trump's lies like shit to a blanket. He's only ever worked for Peter Thiel. His clerking for a state judge doesn't count because a lot of students do that, and he only practiced law for under 2 years. Peter Thiel, the gay man that gave him everything, including his first job, which he sucked at. Peter Thiel had to get him another job, which he sucked at. So they suggested maybe he go after he screwed over the Ohio with his nonprofit that was very profitable for him, mind you. Decided to go in. The other half of that was, do I start a nonprofit or run for office? Well, Peter Thiel suggested he run for office and paid the $15 million for a senatorial race in Ohio and got him elected. Now, Shady Pants used to be gay shady, but now he's MAGA. And you know that MAGA hate the gay folk, right? And he still took advantage and used Thiel's money and used him as a cash cow. He can put aside everything as long as the money's flowing into his pocket. Talk about the rest of this stuff later. Even his Mima said when he thought he was gay, his Mima didn't like that very much because of her religious upbringing. But she did say that God would love you anyway. She did say that, so I wanted to correct that record. Now, Trump's base are all hyped up because they'll have the White House and the VP mansion. Don't get too excited there, Shady. That's going to belong to Gwen and Tim Walz and their family. Sorry, not sorry. Just a couple hours before the debate, Governor DeWine said that he needed federal dollars to help the inundated cities and would put up $2.5 million towards helping the overburdened system. I believe that was to get ahead of what he knew Trump was going to dump on that stage about the eating cats issues, as Marianne Williamson said. He knew the fallout was going to be big from that, so he thought he would jump in there and get ahead of that and say, look what I'm doing for the people in my state. But DeWine turned down money from federal government and federal dollars because now he wants federal dollars. DeWine turned down federal dollars from Biden in 2023 for the East Palestine derailment fiasco, which was in my humble opinion, directly responsible for that was Donald J. Trump, because he paid off and gave his billionaire buddies in all these industries huge tax cuts and big rollbacks. Big rollbacks. Biden called him personally to offer government assistance that he was going to need. And he said, anything you need, I'm here for you. But he said, no, we don't need anything from you, basically. So within 3 hours, though, Biden had FEMA, the EPA, and everybody were on the ground and trying to make the area as safe as possible, as soon as possible. But look what happened. Look what happened a day after the debate. The bomb threats came pouring in, mass shooting threats came pouring in. And now, a week later, there's 6 schools that are receiving death threats and mass shooting threats. Elementary schools, these kids are like 4.5 years old to maybe 12, 13 years old. 3 days in a row, somebody's telling them that somebody's coming to blow up their school, or a mass shooter's going to show up any second. How do you think these kids take that? They're not stressed out enough, right? So the hospital had to be evacuated. Government offices are closed. The university canceled their classes. Community events that have gone on for years with the Haitian community and stuff had to be canceled because of that bile that they're spreading. So yeah, Mike DeWine had to order more security. He had to get more Ohio State police officers in there to protect the citizens and the children in those schools, campuses, government offices, and whatnot. All because of the lies that the Mango Moose Knuckle and Shady Pants, the couch connoisseur, are spreading. Now, Springfield's a blue-collar town, but apparently it has a lot of rednecks in it. I've watched the interviews with these people, and I'm telling you, they have got like a fisheye lens, and it's just focused on whatever comes out of Trump's mouth. Because, I mean, he's a good businessman, right? So he must know what he's talking about. And J.D. Vance was a Yale lawyer, so we should believe him. He's got good education. You must believe him. And Trump's just a freaking con man that can talk you 6 ways to Sundays into buying friggin' snow from the Inuit. But anyway, as factory jobs left, so did the people. At one time, back just before 2018 there was a population of over 80,000 phone calls coming in, but never mind that. There was over 80,000 people in the town. But then it went down to less than 60,000. So they put out an invitation to Haitians, because the town, if it kept going, was going to be a ghost town. So they invited Haitians fleeing civil war, massive violence, and offered good jobs, and housing was cheap in Ontario, in Ohio at the time. So they came, they got documented, they're allowed to work, they contribute to businesses, they pay taxes, and they're law abiding. The only thing they're not allowed to do is vote. And that's another thing that Trump and Vance are on the friggin' bandwagon about, that they're bringing all these immigrants in to help President Harris get elected. That's what they can't vote. They can't. Most came to the country between 2018 and 2022, but between 2018 and 2021, who came through that open border? That must have been Trump's border, right? Right? When Trump was president, he allowed the immigrants temporary protective status, and the Biden-Harris administration kept it. They added a few more guidelines, and they expanded it. And they expanded it in 2022 because of the assassination of the president of Haiti, because they didn't like the results of an election. So they assassinated the president. Just saying. The prime minister had to get exiled. So right now, rebels and gangs run over 80% of the capital, and it's run by extremists on the right. So one last thing, this asshole, born in Cleveland, Portage County Sheriff in Ohio, Bruce Kowski, wrote on Facebook, what's going to happen when the flip-flopping lying hyena wins? I say take down the addresses of all the people who had Harris Waltz signs in their yard. So when the illegal human locusts need a place to live, we will have addresses to their new families. It's because of government officials and garbage like that they talk about that the Republicans are starting to turn on the Mango Moose Knuckle and Shady Pants. Republicans are turning on them. No, I'm not going to say it. I was going to talk about the events in Pennsylvania and on the golf course, but I'm not, even though they were Republicans at one time. Remember, when Trump and Vance don't win, Vance goes back to the Senate. He isn't up for re-election until 2028, so you've got to put up with him until then. And DeWine, well, DeWine, he could give two shits because he's on his last stint as governor. Can't run again. He's done his stint, and he's done in 2026. He can't run again unless he runs for Congress or Senate. So he would have to wait until Shady Pants is done because he's the senator from Ohio. Because Jim Jordan. And look what happens. You'll see what's going on now. There's another thing that I'm going to go on about, and that's with the town hall that, oh my God, the Mango Moose Knuckle and Sucks to be Sanders did in Flint, Michigan. What a shit show. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Night and loves you. Be good, be safe. Please take care of you first so you can take care of somebody else. I love you. Mwah. Take care of you, Manhattan. Thinking about you and the missus. Take care. Be good.